So in Chapter 5, we looked at early atomic theory. And in Chapter 11, we're going to explore more of our modern atomic theory. The first thing that we have to talk about is electromagnetic radiation. Okay? So what is electromagnetic radiation? Well, when we look at electromagnetic radiation, we have things that are done in waves. Okay? If we have something that's low energy, we're going to have long wavelengths and a low frequency. If we have high energy, we'll have short wavelengths and a high frequency. If you think about a kid jumping in a bounce house, okay, if they don't have a lot of energy, they'll have slow, long bounces. If they have a lot of energy, they'll have short, frequent bounces. Okay? When we look at electromagnetic radiation, we have ranges from our highest energy to our lowest energy. Okay? And as we go from high energy to low energy, our wavelength increases. So you can see this arrow here, the wavelength increases. Okay? So high energy things like gamma rays, X-rays, our ultraviolet spectrum. And then we have this middle area, this visible spectrum. Okay? If you notice, the visible spectrum here is a really, really small part of the whole electromagnetic radiation spectrum. Okay, the visible spectrum is what we can see with our naked eye. So if you look over here, okay, near the ultraviolet region is violet light, and then we get less energetic, and we get larger wavelengths up to the red region, and then we transfer out of our visible region and into the infrared and beyond. Okay? Now, we have come up with ways to quote-unquote see in the UV region and in the infrared region, but what we see with special tools in those regions isn't what we see obviously with our naked eye. I've talked to people that have trained with infrared goggles before, and they say it's actually very hard to train with them. It's pretty trippy learning to read the heat signals that infrared gives off. Okay? All right, so here's some actual numbers. Okay, so this is to order the following in an increasing wavelength. So smallest wavelength to largest wavelength. Okay, so when I look here, all right, so small wavelength is over here for our high energy, and big wavelength is over here for low energy. All right, so X-rays, so this is one of our items. FM radio waves, so radio waves, microwaves, and UV light. So if we wanted to order them in increasing wavelength from smallest to largest, our first would be X-rays, that's our smallest. Okay, our microwave, or our next one is our UV radiation, or ultraviolet light. Okay, then is our microwaves, and then is our FM radio waves. Okay? And this one, violet, green, or orange, which one is the most energetic? Well, if we go back over here, okay, high energy, low wavelength. So again, we're looking at violet, green, or orange. So here's violet, here's green, and here's orange. So which one is the most energetic? Well, that's going to be violet. So shorter wavelength, higher energy. Okay, so that is the electromagnetic spectrum.